So I'm sure this one's going to get people talking in the comments. The best championship, North versus South 11. Let's go. So guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got an interesting concept coming at you today. As you can see on screen to the side of me, that's a map of England with all the championship clubs currently on it. As you can now see, that's how I've divided the two regions into the North and South. Conveniently, it works out as 12 clubs playing in the North and 12 clubs playing in the South. To make things fair for the two teams that I've built, I've limited myself to one player per club, and then each side then has one substitute from the team left over. Before we do hop into my two starting 11s though, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors over at OneFootball. As always, you can find the new OneFootball app in the top line or the description down below to stay on top of all the recent football that is going on. You know, we had all the midweek action, which we'll be discussing in tomorrow's video. We've got more action coming up over the weekend as well. So if you want to get live updates to your phone, read up on a little bit more detail in terms of the match stats, individual stats of players from your clubs, and also get all the latest news articles, OneFootball is the place to be. And if you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like. It would be massively appreciated. If we could hit 250 likes, that would be massively appreciated. And please do subscribe if you are new around here. But without any further ado, let's hop into this one. We'll build the North 11 first. Starting out in goal for the North 11, we're going for Birmingham's Neil Etheridge. What a difference a top quality goalkeeper has on the defence. And I think that so far this season, we've already seen on several occasions him digging out that Birmingham defence. But I think we all knew this one was going to be a good deal for them at the time. So far this season, he's got the 5th best save percentage of any goalkeeper in the Championship. 35 saves he's already made this season, keeping 5 clean sheets in the process. Coming in the right back, we're then going to have Middlesbrough's Anthony Dijksteel. Now, as of recording, Middlesbrough currently have the 2nd best defensive record in the league, so I had to get a Borough defender in here somewhere. And Neil Warnock, I think, has to take a lot of credit for how much he's actually developed Dijksteel's game. He arrived last summer from Charlton for a fee of around £2 million. I know that injuries didn't particularly help him, but look, quite shaky in the early stages of his Borough career, but this season his game's gone from here to here. It's been absolutely off the chart so far. Been really comfortable either playing as part of the back three or as right back. Coming in at centre half, we're then going to have Nottingham Forest Joe Worrell. Now, a massive part of that Forest defence, which was so good for the large parts of last season, it was Joe Worrell that was at the centre of it, and I think that one of the reasons they've been struggling at times defensively so far this season has been his real absence from the side. There's been a lot of reshuffling with that back line, and maybe with Samba losing a bit of form as well. That's not helped, but undoubtedly Forest are a much better side with Joe Worrell in. To partner alongside him, we're then going to have Stoke City's Harry Souttar. Really impressive so far this season. I know he's missed the last couple of matches through injury, but did very well last season out on loan at Fleetwood. I think that this season he's only been better for that experience. Right up there for Championship defenders in terms of aerial duels, 1 per 90, 5.4 he averages. Really good dominant defender, and at only 22 years old, I like him a lot. Then in at left back, we're going to have Huddersfield Town's Harry Toffolo, who already this season as a defender has 7 goal contributions, 2 goals as well as 5 assists to go along with it. Huddersfield might have one of the best sort of fullback pairings in the league in Toffolo and Pippa. They're both absolutely excellent and have thrived under this new system under Carlos Corberán so far, but Toffolo especially has really stole the headlines, and rightly so, with his high calibre performances. In holding midfield, we're then going to have Derby County's Christian Bielik. Now, I think that with his return to the side this season, he's undoubtedly showed what Derby have been missing while he has been out injured. No doubts in my mind they're a much better side with him in it. Obviously, either able to play at the back or in midfield. I think probably in midfield is where he can be quite most influential, breaking up play, dictating the tempo. Obviously, this one was quite a big transfer. I think in the end the transfer fee could rise up to around £10 million with add-ons and everything in the end, but the 22-year-old, massive talent. And to partner him in midfield, we're going to have Coventry City's Gustavo Hamer. Probably going to turn out to be one of the signings of the summer with how he's currently going on with Coventry. I made the comparison a week or so ago to someone like a Ruben Neves. I think that Gustavo Hamer really does have those shades about him. He does both sides of the game really well. I think he averages about 2.6 fouls per game. But on the flip side of that, he's got immense quality going forward. 2.2 key passes per 90, 3 goals already this season, all of which have come from outside the box. Now on the right hand side, and this may be a bit of a controversial pick, I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday's Adam Reach. Now when he is at full confidence, he can be an absolute superstar in the Championship. Last season, there's no doubt about it, he completely lost his way. His form absolutely fell off a cliff. Wednesday fans will be hoping that this season now Tony Pulis will be the right man to unlock some of those characteristics that, I mean, all the Wednesday fans know he's capable of. I mean, some of the goals he's scored for them over the years, absolute wonder strike. And there have been the odd moments of quality here and there so far this season. I mean, the assist he got at the weekend for the Norwich goal was absolutely brilliant. That ball in from the left-hand side. In as the number 10, we're going to have Barnsley's Coley Woodrow, very much their main man going forward. So far this season has been playing a little bit further up, but of course played the vast majority of last season as that number 10 and really was impressive. 14 goals in that role he got last season. Technically, I think a very good striker with how he links up with those around him, and obviously has the eye for goal as well. In off the left-hand side, we're going to have Preston North End Scott Sinclair, our top scorer so far this season. I mean, that goal he scored away at Bournemouth just shows the quality that Sinclair has in absolute abundance. He is very much a moments player who can be quiet for, 89 minutes of the match, but it just takes a split second for him to make all the difference. In and around the box, if you give him that chance to be, he can be absolutely clinical, and I think for those big moments, Sinclair goes into this team. And then to finish the team off, we're of course going to have Blackburn Rovers' Adam Armstrong, pretty much averaging a goal per game so far this season, which is absolutely astonishing. I mean, this might be one of the best championship seasons that we've seen in terms of the race for the Golden Boot, with how many high quality strikers we've actually got in the league at the moment. If they all manage to stay injury free, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. Adam Armstrong, though, his quality this season's been undoubtable. He comes in to complete the Northern starting 11. And then as our substitute on the bench, coming in as our impact sub, we're going to have Rotherham United's Freddie Ladapo, their top scorer so far this season. We'll see if he can make an impact from the bench in this game. But as you can see on screen now, that is my selection for the best possible Northern 11, so do take into consideration I was limited to just one player per club here. Let me know in the comments down below if you think you can build a better team than mine. Now, without any further ado, let's build the Southern 11. Starting out in goal for the Southern 11, we're going to go for QPR Seny Dieng. Now, he really has been one of the unsung heroes in terms of a goalkeeper in the league this far into the year. He's made the third most amount of saves, which is even more impressive when you consider he's not played every match of this season so far. He wasn't their starting keeper at the start of the season, but since his introduction into the starting 11, he has been immensely impressive and has dug QPR out on so many occasions. Obviously, by no means did he have the best defensive record in the league. It's quite the opposite to that at the moment, but Dieng pulls them out of trouble when someone in the back line makes a clanger from time to time, and so far this season I've been really impressed. He comes in as the goalkeeper. In our right back, we're going to have Watford's Jeremy Ngakia. Unbelievably, they managed to pick this hidden gem up on a free transfer. I think that over the next couple of years, West Ham are going to be looking back on this deal and thinking Ngakia really could be one of those players that got away from them, because he's taken to the Championship just like that, this 20-year-old who's been so impressive in his first full season of football. One of the best tacklers in the league so far this season, averaging 2.7 per 90. He comes in at right back. As our first centre-half, we're going to have Norwich City's Grant Handley. Now, I've not always been the biggest fan of Grant Handley, but so far this season, I think you have to give a bit of credit to him, especially throughout Norwich's games in November. He was really one of their top performers. That game they had against Middlesbrough, absolutely immense from him at the back, and I think that while Handley and Gibson are on the pitch together, those two have started to form a decent partnership. It's just about obviously keeping them both fit, but so far this season, Grant Handley, I think he's been pretty good for Norwich. And partner alongside him, we're going to have Millwall's Jake Cooper. Millwall not been the most free-scoring side going forward so far this season, but defensively they have kept things very tight. Jake Cooper probably being one of their most consistent performers at the back so far this season. It won't come as much of a surprise to a lot of you to know that he's one of the best Championship defenders in terms of winning aerial battles, averaging about 6 successful aerial duels per 90 for the 6'6" defender, but really impressive stuff from him so far this season. He comes in into that back line. And then to complete the back line, coming in at left back, we're going to have Luton Town's Reece Norrington Davis, currently on loan from Sheffield United. He's also a Welsh international as well, and at only 21 years old, the player's got quite a high ceiling. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him as the season progresses. Of course, the type of football that Luton play, their fullbacks are quite important to their system, so a lot of emphasis goes on someone like Norrington Davis. Off the right hand side, we're going to have Swansea City's Andre Ayew. Undoubtedly, they're much stronger while he's in there. He's already got 5 man of the match performances so far this season. 7 goals and 2 assists to his name. The one he scored at the weekend against Luton just emphasises everything he's about. He's just able to come up with these real moments of magic out of nowhere. In as our first central midfielder, we're going to have Reading's Ovie Ejaria. Now, Reading have got some decent deals over the line over the last couple of years, and the amount of youth that they've actually promoted is fantastic to see, but getting this deal for Ejaria on a permanent basis was a massive step forward for the club. Last season, you all know my thoughts on Ejaria. I'm a massive fan of him, and this season he's been continuing that form. 5 goal contributions already for him. He's averaging more successful dribbles than any other player in the Championship so far this season, 3.1 per 90. To partner alongside him in midfield, we're then going to have Bristol City's Adam Knight, who I think is really starting to show his quality this season. Currently is in the top 5 for the most interceptions so far this season. Obviously, playing as a midfield too with him and Ejaria, we needed someone a little bit more defensive minded, and Nudge so far this season I think is that player who would balance out someone like Ejaria quite well. In off the left hand side, we're going to have Bournemouth's Arnaud Danjuma, one of the most exciting players to watch in the league so far this season, and undoubtedly Bournemouth have been missing that little bit of trickery and flair down that left hand side since he has been injured and out of the side. Obviously Stanislas done a decent job for them, you know, he's come up with his own moments of quality, but Danjuma just has that extra bit of spark about his play, doesn't he? He comes in off the left. Now going for a forward 2 for our Southern 11, coming in as our first striker, it's going to be Cardiff's Kiefer Moore, who's been absolutely terrific for them so far this season. Already in 16 starts has 8 goals to his name and an assist to go alongside it as well. This far into the season he actually averages more successful aerial duels won than anyone else in the league, 10.9. The next highest is Akinfenwa with 9.6. So those stats back him up to be the most effective target man in the league at the moment, and he's also scoring a bucket full of goals. And then to wrap up the Southern 11, coming in alongside him, probably quite predictably so, we're going to have Brentford's Ivan Toney Lyle. Like we mentioned before with Adam Armstrong, this season's race for the Golden Boot is going to be absolutely fantastic, and I hope that all the people that are going for it manage to stay fit throughout the whole season, because we could see some records being broken this season. That's all I'm going to say. Glenn Murray currently holds the record for 30 goals scored in the Championship. Do you think anyone's going to break that this season? Do get your thoughts in the comments down below. But listen, Ivan Toney, he's been a breath of fresh air in the Championship this season. And then as our substitute on the bench, we're going to have Wycombe's Joe Jacobson. Got a mean set piece delivery on him. He was really effective with Wycombe's game against Preston at the weekend. If they're in need of a corner or penalty taker or something like that, Joe Jacobson's going to be on the bench. But as you can see on screen now, that is my Southern 11 that I have compiled. So do get your thoughts on this one as well in the comments down below. And between the both, the Northern and Southern 11, in real life, who do you think would win that matchup? Now guys, without any further ado though, let's take them each into a game of FIFA and see how they do up against each other. And so heading into the game between these two sides, Middlesbrough will be representing our Northern 11 as they are currently the most northern side in the Championship, and Bournemouth will be representing our southern side for the same reason. They're the most southern team in the Championship currently, and it was the Northern 11 who got off to quite a fast start in this one. Some nice play around the left hand side. Eventually the ball falls into Adam Armstrong in the box, who finishes well. How many times have we seen him do that so far this season? Absolutely clinical in those close ranges within the goalkeeper. And it was then the Northern 11 who carried on this momentum into the second half. Harry Toffolo with the ball across the box, and it's finished by Cauley Woodrow, who makes it 2-0 after 18 minutes. Some nice link-up play there. Harry Toffolo as that bombing fullback going forward. Nice link-up with Cauley Woodrow. Surely the Northern 11 from here have it won. Well, the Southern 11 have a free kick in a decent position. It's whipped in into the head of Kiefer Moore, who, what a target man he is. His head so far this season's been an absolute gold mine in terms of goals. He gets another one here. He doesn't know what to do when he's celebrating, but he's got the Southern 11 back into it. Can they forge a comeback? No, that was all this game had to offer in the end. So 2-1 to the Northern 11. It was the Northerners who came out on top, which, you know, myself and Preston, obviously I'm going to be quite happy with that. But nevertheless, a close match in the end. The Northern 11 just about takes the 3 points. But guys, there we have it. So that will now wrap it up for today's video. So thanks for tuning in and watching. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. And please do subscribe for a bit of regular Championship content. Make sure to tune in to the channel tomorrow, where we will have my weekly Championship score predictions coming out. So if you want to get yourself involved in the prediction leaderboard, make sure to get yourself in the comments for that one. But apart from that guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.